There was a lot that was revealed yesterday during the impeachment trial, but I found to be one of the most fascinating moments when we got a little bit more of a timeline of what exactly happened with Mike Pence. We saw a video of Mike Pence being rushed out of the Capitol chambers right ahead of the mob moving in. Mike Pence, of course, was one of the prime targets for this mob. They were chanting that they wanted to hang him. They'd erected a gallows. They were calling for him to be brought out. He is lucky to have escaped with his life. That is what I'm saying. That's what a lot of people think, but not everyone reacted to the near miss of Mike Pence there. We found out about a phone call that happened while all of this was developing between Donald Trump and Senator Tommy Tuberville, who said when he got a call during all of this, I said, Mr. President, they just took the vice president out. I've got to go. So he revealed this to Politico last night, saying he cut the phone call short amid the chaos. So that call we already sort of knew about it, but we didn't know exactly what happened on it. The detail that Tuberville informed Trump his vice president was in danger is a new and potentially significant development for House prosecutors seeking Trump's conviction. It occurred just around the time that Trump sent a tweet attacking Pence for not having the quote courage to unilaterally stop Joe Biden's victory. And since then, Trump never indicated publicly that he was aware of Pence's plight, even hours after Tuberville told him so. So let's look at the timeline. House managers say the call took place shortly after 2 p.m. Pence was evacuated from the chamber at about 2:15 p.m. and Trump sent his tweet at 2:24. And in case you don't remember this is the tweet that Trump apparently sent just moments after he was told his vice president had to be hustled out of the room so that he would not be murdered by this mob. He said, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our constitution, giving states a chance to certify a correct set of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones, which they were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth. That was how he responded to this news, Jason. Like he had just been rushed out and he is like, he didn't do what he should have done. Not thank God the guy who's loyally stood by me for 4 years wasn't murdered.
Right, John, first let me start by saying that listening to the trial yesterday was one of the most riveting and fascinating things I've ever heard, because Trump's tweets are incriminating him. Like even they said it themselves. The prosecution is using Trump's own words against him, one. And to your point, any human being, at least I would think, would jettison any kind of hangups they have against someone in favor of saving someone's life, right? Am I remiss and crazy in having that kind of thought process? So for Trump to send that tweet, sorry, I'm choking up because I'm just so emotional about this. So for Trump to send that tweet after getting that news is indicative of the POS, and I can say that because he's out of office now, that he is. I'm not surprised by that. And I find it truly fascinating and also very eye-opening. Again, we're gonna go into the timeline of everything that transpired yesterday and what they're using in the trial, but he had to have known this was coming, right? And loyalty no longer exists. Well, it probably never existed in politics, but Trump has truly shown that loyalty is a novel idea that is dead and probably isn't returning ever. Because sell out someone, as you said, blindly and blindly and without the shadow of a doubt supported you, even though this person, and I like to think Mike Pence is a smart man. He obviously has to be a smart man to ascend to the heights that he has, even though he probably knew in his heart of hearts and in the back of his mind that he was following a maniac. You know, so yeah. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I am surprised.
Yeah, God, I mean, obviously, like I feel bad for him.
Right.
They tried to kill him. They still hate him. He is still like, not a lot of people are saying this. If you were Mike Pence, you have to still be scared. Like they still think, due in no small part to tweets like we just showed you, that Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done, which we cannot repeat this enough. There was nothing Mike Pence could have done to overturn the result. If he 100%. Could have done something and did it, it would have been insane and anti-democratic, but he also couldn't. He was the Vanna White of that day. It was a ceremonial thing. In theory, they could just automatically turn those things around, but they have someone there for the ceremony. That was Mike Pence.
Right.
Trump already knew that when he tweeted that. They had a talk that Trump was infuriated by days earlier, where Pence was like, dude, I can't do anything. I'd love to overthrow democracy for you. Seriously, I would, but I can't. And Trump apparently either is so much more devoted to the big lie than he is to Pence, or just kind of wants Pence to be killed, that he keeps lying about what Pence could have done, even after he had to be rushed out of the chamber. That is madness. And it was a big part of yesterday, but I really don't think that all of the implications of it were made clear yesterday of how crazy that actually is.
Well, because John, they weren't, but there was so much to unpack yesterday. And to your point, one, I love how you said Mike Pence, you likened Mike Pence to Vanna White. Nice. Secondly, right, it's compulsory, right? What Mike Pence had to do was compulsory, obligatory of the title that he had. The base that stormed the traitorous people that stormed the Capitol saw Mike Pence as a traitor, which I find it's like kettle pot black, right? You stand for democracy, you stand for the American people, the Constitution. This is our constitutional right, but everything you did was in the absence of those things storming the Capitol. And to your point, which is amazing, Mike Pence is absolutely probably still fearing for his life. And I will say though, that's kind of the screwing he gets for the screwing he did, right? You were able to be in this office for 4 years. You were so many things that were egregious and derogatory and derailing of marginalized groups of people and people who needed the support of the American government. And you had no problems with that. This is your bad karma coming home to roost, if you will, if that makes sense. So on one hand, yeah, I don't think anyone's life should be endangered, but at the same time, yo, Mike, I mean,
yeah,
you kind of had this coming.
Yeah, well, I will say, you cannot be totally surprised. I'm gonna back away from you had this coming, because nobody has political violence coming. But you cannot be surprised, I assume is sort of what you mean. That like the idea that loyalty doesn't earn you anything with Trump, and the second you mildly inconvenience him, he will throw you to the wolves, is a long established fact. Pence is not the first person. Pence has sat there as he's seen this cycle play out with any number of different people. So when it finally comes to you, the only thing you're really allowed to feel is a sense of inevitability, basically, that this was always going to happen as long as you participated in this sick system.
Right, and John, let me offer clarity to what I was trying to say, and just to piggyback on what you're saying. I'm not saying no one deserves to have violence enacted against them. What I'm saying is that this type of negative reaction and what you're experiencing, as you just said, was bound. So saying making Pence a victim, he is a victim in some instances, much like the other people who were innocent bystanders throughout all this. They are victims as well. But just Pence's involvement doesn't lean on giving him a pass, if that makes sense.
I agree. And in fact, let's double down on that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.